welcome back to my channel. I am Prachi Arora, an engineering student doing my community service for community development project by teaching Python on YouTube. So this is the lecture 16 and I have covered 15 lectures already. Make sure to watch them all so you understand the basics. So in the last lecture I told you all about the till now in the previous few lectures I have told you all about the built-in data types of Python, all about lists, strings, tuples, sets and dictionaries. And in last lecture especially we did comprehension of lists and dictionary. That was creating a list or dictionary use in a single line of code using iteration. Okay? You don't need to use the for loop or lengthy code of for loop and instead can be created just by using comprehension. Okay, so this was the syntax of list. That is, list comprehension is done in square brackets in which you give expression for each item and it is iterated through the iterable, and also if condition can be applied there. As for dictionary, you give a you give curly brackets and then give a key value pair for expression and then for key value in the iterable if condition. Okay, this was pretty simple, right? So I hope you all understood it very well. Till now, all the basics of Python have been covered. These were the basics. From now, what we are gonna start today is functions, and function is very important in Python. In any language, functions are almost same. You define a function, you give the code, and then you call the function, etc. And I will say that making functions in Python are very easy compared to other languages like C++ or C, right? So let's get started with today's lecture. Make a new file, lecture16.py, enter, and done. Okay, so what's the great topic of today? That's functions, right? So first of all, what are functions? Functions, or a function you can say. Let's go for like this. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. Okay, and it helps reduce code repetition. And remember, a function can run as many times as you call it. There is no limitation that it will only run a few times. As many times as you call a function, it will run. It is a block of code that runs whenever you call it. Okay? And a function can return data as a result. We will do return statement today. We will not be covering the whole concept of functions. We will do I will tell you how to define functions and what are the parameters and arguments, and also about the return statement. We will cover this in today's lecture. Okay, and it can return data as a result. Okay, so this is a function. Now how do we create a function? We have a keyword to create a function that is def. For defining a function, we call this creating a function or defining a function. So we have def keyword, and this is the syntax: def keyword, after that function name, and after function name you have to give these round brackets. You must remember all the functions that we did: len function, sum function. They all are functions like this. These are the inbuilt functions, and these functions that I am telling you about, the function I am telling you about, it is the user defined function, the one we are going to define, right? And you can see here also that we can run these len function, sum function as many times as we want, right? So just like that, the built-in functions that we define can also be executed as many times as we want. So after this we use a colon, and inside that you can see we have an intended block now, four spaces or a tab space, right? And inside this intended block we write our code. Okay, and this is here. After it, when we need that function, we call that function name like this. This is the main syntax of the function. Now let's move to an example. We will create a simple function that returns or that prints hello. Okay, let's go for def keyword, after that function name. Let's name our function my fun, like that, and then round brackets and a colon, and enter. We have an intended block, and inside it I will write print and hello, like this. After that I will write whatever code I want to write. Like if I just go for print, this is my first function. Okay, and you can see here I haven't called this function yet. Okay, I have just defined the function, but I haven't called the function. And if I run this code like this, only the this print statement will work. You can see it's only printing this is my first function. If I want the function to be executed also, I will just write here my fun and then round brackets. That's it. And it will print hello. Let's run it. And you can see this is my first function and hello. And no matter how many times you call the function, if I call this before this print statement also, it will print like this. In the loop too, it will print like this. I will show you for x in range 1 to 10, and here I will write my fun and round brackets, and you will see that hello is being printed 10 times or 9 times here. Okay, you can see. So this is what a function is. You can call a function as many times. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called, and it can be called multiple times as much as you want. In a loop, manually, anything, it can be called like that. And functions mainly help to reduce the code repetition and hence reducing the length of the function. Okay, because I don't have to write print hello again and again here. If I want to print it 3 times, I don't have to write the code again and again. Like if I want to print another message, print, this is a message. And then again another print I will take, by. Okay. I want to print all these three times. Okay. So instead of writing this whole block three times like this, either I will write like this, right? Either I will write like and this and run this code. See, this is too much, right? So here I will write instead my fun and repeat it three times. See here, same output, but there we had to write 9 lines of code, and here only 3 lines of code we are doing, and plus this only one time. Okay. Now, how to name our functions? You know about def keyword now, defining the functions. How we do that with def keyword. Okay. Now, what is the criteria or rules for function names? It is the same as the case in identifiers or variable names. Same rules as variable names. Okay. That is, it can contain only letters, numbers, and underscores. Okay. Also, function names are case sensitive. Like if here I give def my function print hello, and here I call the function with M capital, it will give us an error. Here only it's giving us an error with this yellow line. It's showing here this is not defined, right? So let's run it and see if it gives us error. You can see it's giving us error, name error, that it is not defined, and it also asks, did you mean this? We have just given M capital. Just like that, if I give M like this and give Y capital, it will still give us same error, because Python is case sensitive and function names are case sensitive too. Okay. You, here you can see we have given underscore here. We can also write the function's name like this, my function, right? This is called camel font, and this is underscore snake font and camel font. Okay. Now, why do we use functions? Why? do we use functions? Why do you think we use functions? I already told you above that it is because it helps reduce the code repetition. But what is too difficult about repeating the code, right? But there is. I will show you an example. Just a minute. Yeah. Here, if we need to convert, like there is a maths function that we need to use in our program again and again. Like we need to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. If we want to convert the temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius again and again, we will use functions in that case. We will not apply or write the formula again and again and instead use functions so our code is not that long. Okay, so let's try defining it. We will go for def Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, and this, and inside it we will take this far as the argument. Hmm? And return, I told you it returns data as result also, and we will return here, we will take far minus 32 into 5 by 9, right? This is the formula and it's done. Now we will print directly far to Celsius and round brackets, and inside it we have to give the argument here. We have given far parameter here, so we have to give the argument. For example, I will give 78 Fahrenheit. Just like that, again I have another temperature that I need to convert, Fair to Celsius, round brackets, and temperature 90. And when I run this code, you can see the answer here. Okay, I will tell you in detail about parameters, arguments, and return statement, so don't worry about that. To reduce code repetition and make code short and readable. Okay, these functions do the work of many lines of code in a few lines only. That's why we use it mostly. Okay, now the most important topic in here is function function arguments. What are function arguments? Arguments are the values that are passed to a function when it is called. Okay, what are arguments? Arguments are the values passed to a function when it is called. They allow functions to receive input data and perform functions or operations using using those values. Okay, that's what an argument does. Argument is the value that is passed when we call the function. Okay, and the syntax is of course the same: def function name, and here inside the round brackets we have arg. Here actually they are called parameters. There's not much difference, and here you write code, code, return value, and here when you call the function, function name, and inside these round brackets here you give arguments. Arguments can be 1 to as many as the user wants to give, okay, but it should be the same number that is defined in these parameters. The argument number of arguments should be equal to the number of parameters if the parameters are not already defined in the defining a function. Let's take an example. We will take an example in which we give a number. The user can give a number, and using that function we have to check if the number is even or odd. So it will have to take a argument from the user, right? So we will define a function called odd even, and inside it we will take a num, and we will check if num modulus 2 equals to 0, return, or let's just go for print even, else print odd. Okay, and next we give numbers. We will call this function odd even and give here arguments. Let's go with 34 and again we give odd even, give 87, and again odd even, and we give 12. So it should give even, odd, even, right? Let's try running it. Even, odd, even. Now here, what are the arguments in this function now? In this whole code, what are the arguments? It is 34, 87, and 12. These are the arguments passed to the function caller, so that it goes into the function and then it uses. It is the input for the function, you can say. Here, for example, let's take this 34 first of all. This 34 goes to num. Num becomes 34, so it checks if num modulus 2 is equal to 0. That is 34 modulus 2 equals to 0, it is true and it prints even. And 87, it becomes false, so it go for else block and print odd. Okay, this is how you work with arguments. Now, most importantly, we have types of arguments. Types of arguments. First type that we have is positional or required arguments. Positional or required arguments. Okay, what do? They are the mandatory arguments when the function call statement must match the number and order of arguments as defined in the function. If we have a function here, let's give you an example. Def print num function, and in it we have a, b, c. Okay, and here we print a, b, c, separator equals to double space. Okay, and then here we call the function print num, and inside it we have to give three arguments now because we have three parameters. What happens if I give only two? Will it run? No, it's showing type error. This function is missing one or required positional argument c. It doesn't take any value for c. So yeah, I give 4. Now it will work properly. You can see 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I will say I want to give a equals to 1, b equals to 2, and c equals to 3. If I want to do that, I have to define the order in A, B, C, that is 1, 2, 3. If I give 3, 2, 1, that the compiler will automatically understand that I want A as 1, B as 2, and C as 3. That's wrong. It will only take A as 3, B as 2, and C as 1 because that's the order of the arguments. See? So we have to ma- must match the function call statement with the number and order of arguments as defined in the function definition. Okay, These were the positional arguments. Next, we have default arguments. In default function, it is in default arguments, they are mainly the parameters that have default values in function header. Okay, I'll give you an example like I want to give a function def fun. Here I give a equals to 1, b equals to 2, and c equals to 3, and a colon, and then I print a, b, c, and separator equals to space. Okay, and here I call my function. Now I don't need to define any of this ABC because I have already given the numbers. Okay, and I run it. You can see 1, 2, 3. Now suppose I want to change the value. I want a as 4. I'll give it 4 here, and let's run it. You will see a changes to 4, 2 and 3. Like that, if you want to give b and c also, 4, 5, 6. Every one of them will change like this, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, and like that, here also these are the positional arguments, required arguments, and these are the default arguments. We can define both of them. Okay, for example, if I don't give a equals to 1 here, if I give a only and b, I define b and c, and now in the function call I only give one value, it will go to a, and I run it. See, it's working. But here is the rule here. The important rule is that the required parameters must always be used or written before the default parameters. I can't do it like this. If I write a equals to 1 and I don't give value to c, and I give here 4, thinking that this 4 will go to c because a and b are defined, it will go to c. Does this happen? No. You will see that we get an error. See, syntax error. Parameter without a default follows parameters with a default. Okay, means if I want to define it, give the value in C, we have to write C here and give AB there, and then I write it like this 1, 2, and 4. Right? C got 4 value now. Alright, this was default arguments. Next we have keyword argument. What does keyword arguments do? These are the values that, when passed into a function, are identifiable by specific names. So in this, order can be changed. Okay, like here in this function only. Let's change this a bit. Wait a minute. I will give a B, C. And here I print A, A, print B, B, and print C. Okay, like this. Now here I want to define C first. Yeah. So there is no confusion. We have to give a column to. So there is no confusion. I give B equals to 8, C equals to 7, A equals to 9. Now I have defined these arguments already. So compiler can easily identify that this B and this B is same. So it will return us 9, 8, 7. Let's run it. And you can see A, 9, 8 and 7 we are getting. Hmm? This is called explicit naming. What it's called? Explicit naming. In it, even if we give B equals to 1 and C equals to 2, then also we can define this and it will be same. Reference goes to the caller of the function and not to the heading of the function. Okay, this is how keyword arguments work. Keyword arguments are also called named arguments. Alright. Next one that we have is something called, wait a minute. So these three are the main arguments, okay? What are arguments? Arguments are the values passed to the function when it is called, and they allow functions to receive input data and perform operations using those values. And what are the types of functions? Type of functions are positional or argument or required arguments, and default arguments and keyword arguments. But yeah, let me tell you the types of functions too. I forgot to tell you. Let's write it here. Types of functions. What are the types? First, built-in functions. All the len method, sum method, count, copy, all these are the built-in functions. Then we had module defined functions, and then we have user defined functions. Okay, built-in functions we have covered, user defined functions we are doing, and module defined functions I will tell you later on. We will do that, cover that also. Okay, and these were the arguments, positional and required arguments, in which the order can't be changed and number can't be changed. Default arguments, in which the value is already defined in the function header, and keyword arguments, in which while calling in the function caller we give the name of the argument too, so order can be changed. Next thing that we have is return statement. What does return do? Well, let me show you a little example of function with functions called function with functions. Okay, that is a function defined inside another function. What is it called then? A function defined inside another function is called inner function or a nested function. Okay, let's me give you an example. Def f1 function, main function, and inside it we give s. Let's give a string s equals to I love Python, right? And then I give another function def f2, and here I print s. Here I run f2, and out of this I run f1, and I run it, it will give us I love Python. Okay, now be sure that you can't run f2 outside that function because it should be defined and called inside that function only. See, it's getting an error. Okay, next up important thing that we have is return statement. What does return statement do? Return statement is used to end a function and send a value back to the caller. It can return any data type and even multiple values packed in a tuple or list. In the list, if we define it, if we don't define in what order should be returned and return multiple values, it's automatically returned in tuple. And what is the syntax for it? We just go return and write here expression. That's it. Let me give you an example now. If I want to give a number and want its square to be returned, what will I do? I will write a function def sq and take a num here, and here I will return num model is 2 power 2. Okay, and here I print sq, and inside it I will give 3. Okay, and I run it, it should give us 9. See, now why did we write print here? Because this is just returning the value to this part. So the value returned to print inside the print is 9. We can also go for x equals to sq and write here 5. It will give us 25, we will print x. Now it will return the value of square 5, that is 25, to x, and x has been printed, it will return 25, like that. Okay, this is how it works. Return statement, and like I told you, it is used to end the function. If I write print by here, do you think it will work? No, it will not work. See, even the colors are not being printed right here. Code is here, we are having a warning. Code is structurally unreachable. Still, let's try running it. We run the code and we are having 9 and 5. We are not getting by. It will not raise an error. It will just ignore that print statement. Okay. Let's see some other examples. Like that, we can return as many things as we want. Like if I get here num2, let's remove this one first of all, and I return num1 plus num2, and here I will give 3, 5, and here I will give 5, 10. It should return 8 and 15. See? Like that, we can return any. If I want to like check, yeah, let's go for, if I want to check if a number is even, let's keep the name same. Okay, just keep changing in that. Don't see that it's square, just say sq. I will say here, if num modulus 2 equals to 0, return even. It's returning a string now, else return odd. Okay, and I run it, you will have even and odd. See, that's using argument conditional statements inside that. Okay, let's do a few example of functions now. Okay, we can make function for literally anything. Seriously, for anything we can do that. There are so many functions, like if I want to find the sum of elements, like that, let's try giving a list in the arguments. Here I will have a list L and see if it works. For x in L, print x, right? And here I go for SQ, and inside it I give a 1, 2, 3. Will it work? I am putting a list in the arguments. Will it work? Let's see. See, it's working. We can give literally anything. Here, instead of this list, I give Python. It will work too. This is the best thing in Python, that you don't need to define the data type in the arguments here in the parameters. In languages like C or C++, you need to define, like we are passing integer or something like that, and it restricts a lot. Python compiler automatically understands which what is being passed. We can literally pass anything. Let's try passing a list, a dictionary. We'll go for A1, B2, and C3. Let's try and run it. See, we are having ABC. If you want to print the values, you have to go for this L square brackets X and run it 1, 2, 3. We are having values of the dictionary. Alright. Now let's do a simple program. I will go give you a program to rotate the list in right by 1 if the element is a vowel. Okay, we will give def rotate, and here I will be taking list function like this. So it's very simple. We will return using the slicing. You have to shift the list by 1, right? It's not a vowel, if by 1, just like that, right? So we return L1 like this plus L0. This is how we do it. Example, I will give now. I will take a L as equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we call this function rotate and pass ls in it, and it should return. I will print it, and it should return us 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's shifting towards right. This is shifting towards left. Okay, So like this you can do many functions, right? I hope you all understood it, because understanding the functions are very important. In the next lecture I will be telling you little more about the arguments. We have the arguments in which we will do lambda function and the arg and quark arguments in next lecture. I hope you all understood it. We did the functions and the types of arguments today. What is a function? It is a block of code which runs only when it is called, and it can be called multiple times. Okay, and it also returns data as a result, helps reducing the code repetition. And function is defined using the def keyword. Types of functions we have: built-in functions, module-defined function, and user-defined functions. As for that function names, the rules were same with the variable names. Then we had arguments are the values passed to the function when it is called. Okay, and we did the types of arguments: positional arguments, default arguments, and the keyword arguments. Then we did the return statement. Okay, so that's it for today. Keep practice these functions. Try to do all the programs we did: reverse of a number, palindrome, all these functions use all these programs using functions. Okay, so keep practicing and coding. That's it for today. Thank you.